Cheers, guys, to a great summer.
Woo! Cheers.
Cheers.
Allegedly. Welcome to another episode of Allegedly Podcast. I'm Lucas, and yet again, I'm here with Kelsey and Emma, and
Carl.
Carl. Carl is here too. And on this episode, we're going to talk about summer activities. Summer's right around the corner. Well, isn't it? Is it summer already? No.
Not for another couple days?
Well,
Week?
Well, by the time this episode...
June 21st.
Okay, month?
Well, okay.
Month.
Well, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be a couple more weeks. Couple weeks until summer actually begins. But, we decided we're going to talk about and debate about some of the best summer activities, summer drinks, snacks, foods, because I feel like we're all excited for summer.
Of course.
When the weather actually gets consistently warm and nice out.
Yeah.
So,
and my grass keeps growing.
yeah, Kelsey's going to hopefully have a full-grown backyard. Mm-hmm. But, so, to kick it off, let's start with a quintessential activity that I feel everyone does really only in summer. Just a water activity. Anything that has to do with water, whether it be a pool, lake, puddle, slip and slide, whatever.
Little Peppa Pig mud puddle action.
Lake, pond, whatever. What in your mind is the activity to do in the summer?
Right now or ever through the lifespan?
I think some whatever.
Like as a almost 30-year-old or in general throughout life?
You can. I think something that you feel is consistently a dominant activity, because I can start with it if you want me to give an example, or at least my choice.
Why don't you talk? Yeah, so for sure.
I would have to say for me, just growing up, my grandparents had a lake house in Michigan, and every summer, every year we would go up there, and just being up there and going on boat rides, stopping at the sandbar, just fishing, all that kind of stuff, just it never gets old. Like, even
so, boat rides and fishing, are those your two things?
I would have to say, if I had to pick one water activity that I really do enjoy,
boats.
Jet skiing is fun because it's just
stand up jet skiing or sit down.
I've only ever been on. Have you ever seen a stand up jet ski?
I can barely do a sit down jet ski. I'm so terrified.
I
if you're terrified by
that, feels surprising. Right? Yes. The last time I was on a jet ski, I cried.
That's super surprising because I like a jet ski and I don't like water.
I'm terrified of jet skis.
I will say I've been jet skiing. One of the only times I'll tell you I was scared on a jet ski was when I went on vacation to Myrtle Beach, and we rented jet skis and we went out on the ocean. Yeah. And I feel like that is also, if that were to happen to you, you would just be like,
I'm not afraid of the ocean. I'm just afraid of the jet ski.
I'm afraid of falling.
I love sharks.
I don't want to be in the ocean.
I love the ocean.
That was the thing. Like, that was the waves in the ocean. Just you gun that jet ski and just, and it's. I don't like deep water. So that's
the last time I was on a jet ski was like 2012 in Greece, and I was on the back of the jet ski.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think if I was on the front and driving, I would be less scared. But hanging onto the back of the jet ski,
with a stranger or with a friend or like someone you knew?
With Walter.
Shout out Walter.
I was 15, 16. I was just a child. And I was...
That would be scary with Walter.
So, Walter, who currently has a post-surgery torn rotator cuff from crashing a snowmobile, yes.
Feels similar.
Yeah.
Yes. Terrifying. He just, because, like, I couldn't see what was going on sitting behind him. I wasn't holding on to anything besides him, and I had no control over where we were going, and now I have, like, jet ski trauma, and I don't know that I can do it anymore, so.
Yeah, to be fair, I agree with that, sitting on the back of the jet ski, because just this past summer...
You sat on the back of a jet ski?
We went to Alabama for a family reunion, and we rented a jet ski, and I took my stepbrother and my cousin out. They technically, I think my cousin was allowed to drive, but like I had to sit on the back, and I think I sat on the back for a little bit, and I think my stepbrother drove. I can't remember, but I just
all three of you were on the
no,
jet ski?
just two at a time. But I had to be on it because I was the adult, if you can consider me that.
Your stepbrother's an adult,
but well, like they had like a policy you had to be so old to be able to drive it. But
like 25 with the rental car.
No, yeah, I can't remember what the age limit was, but like we were out there. And yeah, sitting on the back of a jet ski and not driving is definitely terrifying. I will say that.
So that's like my only experience. I don't know that I've ever actually driven a jet ski.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if anyone is familiar with Norris Lake. Familiar?
Pass.
Tennessee?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
In Tennessee?
Sounds familiar.
Okay. I feel like it's like kind of popular for Ohio people. But my cousins have a place there, and we went, my other cousin and I went down there. We've been down there a few times, but we took their jet ski out on the lake, and this lake has like a ton of like fingers. Like it's just like
it
just sounds really freaky. I get what you're saying, but I just picture like hands coming out of
the water. But we took the jet ski out, and we were like, okay, perfect. And like we didn't take our phones because we're in the jet ski.
Yeah.
We took my cousin's, well, it's my mom's cousin's kid. Phone because his music was hooked up to the speaker, and we're like, perfect, we want music. So we take the 16-year-old's phone with us.
Sure.
And I was driving, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go right and then right and then right. Every time there was a turn, I'm like, I'm gonna go right and then right and then right to make sure I was on the right track. No. We turned around. We could not find our way back. We were gone for like probably 2 hours. Very
you didn't run
lost.
out of gas.
We were looking at the map. We had no phone service. We did not run out of gas. We had no phone service.
Sure.
We couldn't.
In the middle of the lake, naturally.
Right, of course. But we finally, at some point, somewhere found service. And I, like, zoomed in on the map. And I was like, okay, we have to get back to this spot. Because also our family...
We have to take a left and a left
and a left and a left. Because we were doing that. But then it was like, somehow we didn't end up back where we were.
Because all the fingers.
Because all the fingers. But it also was like the family wasn't at the house. They had taken the boat out and like parked somewhere.
Oh, sure.
And we had gone from there. So it was like, I was like, okay, well, let's try to find this marina where we came from, and then maybe we can get back to where the boat is. But we did eventually find our way back. Some of the family did come looking for us.
Sure.
So when
they got worried.
We got back and we were like, wait, because we had two boats like hooked together. And we're like, wait, like where did they take the other boat? And they were like, to look for you. And we were like, right.
Make sure you weren't drowning in the lake.
It's funny you talk about running out. I took my friend Brendan up to my grandparents' lake a couple summers ago, and my grandfather hadn't really gotten the jet skis out, so I guess the fuel gauge was broken on one. We go out riding, and it's me and Brendan, and then at one point I lose him. I'm like, where'd he go? And then I see him just sitting out there. I go up. I'm like, what's up? He's like, I'm out of gas.
Oh, he just sat there and waited for someone to find him?
Well, I forgot my grandfather did tell him, like, run it out of gas, and he ran it out of gas, and guess what? Someone had to tow him back, and that was me.
What lake are they on?
Devil's Lake. And just,
by
it's
MIS.
It's like just south
Michigan
of
International Speedway.
Yeah, the Speedway. But
where they do faster horses.
Yeah.
Anyone
Wait,
else?
I didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So I would say number one, obviously, swimming. I know some people, especially women our age, are not swimmers. Mm-hmm. I'll jump right into that pool, and I'm going head under. I love to swim. Mm-hmm. Not like athletically, obviously. I love to like splash around.
Beer in your hand in the pool, or
not even. The beer can be on the edge of the pool. I'm swimming back and forth in the pool. I'm playing mermaids. I'm doing whatever. I'm under that water swimming around. But also, not so much anymore. I haven't done this in a long time. But as a younger person, I loved tubing. I used to go tubing multiple times a year, every summer. And my best friend growing up had a lake house, and her dad used to take us tubing, and he was insane. Believe it or not, the same person who had the snowmobiles that my dad crashed.
Yes.
At the same house up north.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes.
Checks out.
But we used to go tubing so much, and we'd be like
Agreed.
20 feet in the air. Like, it was crazy. But one time we went up north with a bunch of our friends, and we had bought this hot dog tube. So like, it looks like a hot dog, and you all just sit on it. So it's not like tubing, not where you're like flying over waves. You kind of just get pulled behind the boat. But like I said, this man, absolutely crazy, pulled us over a big wave. We all fell off. But because of how the hot dog is, you're like literally this close to each other. So when we fell, we all like whack, whack, whack. Yes. My hip bone hit our friend Mike's face. He got a like Mike Tyson tattoo style bruise on his face. It hurt us both so bad that we could not even swim to the tube. We had to like hold on and get dragged to shore. And his senior pictures were scheduled for like 2 days after. And they had to cancel them because he had such a massive bruise on his face.
Good job, Kelsey.
But tubing for sure. Tubing and swimming. And also anything around a body of water I am very happy with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I like a nice float or like hang out in the pool.
But you wouldn't do like a river float, right?
No, because that's like moving
river
water.
floats.
Like float as in like I'm stationary floating.
Okay.
Sure.
I do not like water in my face. I do not even put my face like in the water in the shower. I hate water in my face. So splashing is a no for me.
No splashing.
No splashing for me.
No swimming under the pool.
No putting my head underwater in the
Emma's
pool.
on the edge with the non-beer in her hand.
Yeah, no, I'm on the edge above water with the drink in my hand.
Yes.
It's like when I was just in Florida and the little kids asked my cousin and I, why do you always have a drink in your hand?
Oh.
And my cousin was like, we're just like so thirsty.
We're just grown up, so we're on vacation, we're drinking at the pool.
I haven't seen you go under at all. And I was like, and you won't.
You're like, and get out of my face.
I don't do that.
You're like, and you won't, because I can't get my face wet.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just like a float?
But I like a float, I like a boat.
Sure.
Okay.
With no risk of splash.
Just being, basically you just
like
being
a pontoon?
out.
No.
I feel like any boat that goes fast has a risk of splash.
No.
Well,
yeah.
so you're one of those people who wants to be out on the water, but not in the water.
I'll get in the water, just not my face.
Just not your face. Gotcha.
Just like shoulders down.
When we went to conference, standing in the pool, that was great. I loved that.
True, and there was a lazy river that was like touch. We could touch and walk
around.
But
then that one part with the lazy river with the thing that came over, no.
I went through that several times.
Yeah, I avoided that like the plague.
Yeah, speaking of conference, shout out conference.
Shout out conference. It's coming up Thursday.
Okay. All water, yeah. I feel
love
like
water
all
activities.
solid choices.
I also like fishing. I also like, I don't know, what are even the other water activities? I can't even think of any other ones.
There's probably ones that I'm not even thinking about. There's
synchronized swimming, perhaps?
I do enjoy swimming, but like
I said synchronized.
My aunt was on the synchronized swimming team.
There are a couple places, because shout out Wisconsin, that you can go. They have like those big inflatables, they like inflatable obstacle courses.
Oh yeah. Everywhere that obstacle course travels around places. Yeah, that's pretty fun.
But they have places that they have those set up every summer. River floats are big, kayaking.
We do river floating here.
Yeah, river floating is basically anywhere there's a river.
Did you get your tube back?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But
shout out my tube.
Wait, does Carl like water?
Carl does not like water.
Chloe doesn't like water.
Stuart likes water if he's off leash and we're on a walk through the woods and there's a little creek that he can put his feet into. Okay. But if we tried to get him into a pool, I think he would lose his mind. But he loves to casually splash through a creek.
How does he like the bath?
Oh, my dogs absolutely hate the bath. I thought Palmer was going to hang himself the last time we brought him to the bath. Where you like, it's like the self bath that you take Chloe to, where you like clip their collar on so you can bathe them. He tried so hard to get off that I literally thought he was going to strangle himself.
Yeah.
Stuart just stands there panicked in fear, which is the same thing he does when he gets his nails cut. So, they both hate the bath.
Okay. Interesting. Well,
Carl hates the bath too.
There's not many dogs I've met that like water. Well,
I've seen a few dogs that
there
like
are some
water.
dogs that don't like water, but
yeah.
Pivoting from that,
Yes.
Best summer destinations. Where obviously I feel like winter destinations is always the beach.
Right.
I feel like it's most, but like obviously when it's summer, it's already hot there. It's even more hot. Do you go somewhere where it's like hotter than it would be here in summer, or no. What are your go-to if
best
you're
summer
going somewhere
destination is my backyard. I love to stay local, and best summer destination is wherever my friends are choosing to get married that summer. Shout out weddings.
Shout out my friends.
Yes. No, I think summer is for doing local things. Like there's a community pool like a block away. I would love to spend time there this summer. I have friends who have pools. I'd love to spend time there. I want to be out there grilling. I want to be out there having a bonfire. Like there's so many months of the year that cannot be enjoyed outside in Michigan.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would love to enjoy the time that I have here that I can be outside.
Yeah.
If I'm going to travel, it's probably not because there's somewhere I really want to go in the summertime.
Okay.
It might be because there's a place that is like the most affordable to travel to in the summertime. But if it's hotter than it is here, I'm not going.
That's fair.
Like in Arizona last weekend, it was like low 90s, which was okay for Arizona. This weekend in Arizona, it's going to be like 107.
Yeah.
I'm not going to that place.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that place. So I like to stay home in the summer. I'll travel in the winter.
Okay.
I love up north, obviously.
Oh, sure. That's such a good one, Emma.
Yeah, which obviously Michigan though. That's staying local.
Yes.
But my family does a big Colorado trip in August always.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which I feel like it's less hot than here.
Yeah.
But sometimes about the same, but it does cool off more in the evening than it does here. But I love going to Colorado in the summer. Great hiking, great scenery, great family time. I've been going since I was probably 7 every August. So
Emma makes several Colorado trips a year, though,
I do.
so that's not just August always.
No, but
that's
used
the
to
consistent
just be
trip.
August. It only became multiple times a year, like maybe 3 years ago.
With Burn Camp.
Yes, but also like we just did the fundraiser for the first time last year.
Got it.
Well, my family went, I guess it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and then I went this past year. But
yes.
That was the first 2 times that had happened. But we had like a wedding this year in October, so we don't usually go in
Fundraiser,
October. Burn Camp, which is in August.
Yes.
My aunt always goes in June for Burn Camp, family camp, but recently I joined into that.
Yes.
But then we also went like wintertime. We didn't go in the winter until college. We had never been in the winter until then. And then my grandpa really wanted to try the fall out there, so we did fall this year. So
a little bit of everything.
Never been there that time of year, so going multiple times a year was new within the past. I'd probably maybe say like 4 years ago.
Right, but I've only known
yes, but
less
you've
than
only
that,
known
so.
yeah.
Lucas, where do you like to travel in the summers?
I don't travel much.
Wisconsin?
I will say, that trip this year is the first time like traveling to Wisconsin
for leisure.
Wisconsin for me, if I were gonna go anywhere, it's obviously the fall. I would go there in the fall.
But
for the summer, like I kind of agree with you, where it's more of a stay at home or like family. Like I said, my grandparents still have the lake house in Michigan, so if I'm gonna go anywhere, probably gonna go to the lake house, hang out there, see them, everything. Other than that, the only other place I feel like I travel is the racetrack down to Eldora to go watch races, and that's mostly because my mom and my stepdad are there watching them, and which I still very much enjoy. I wish I could go more, but obviously the schedule for the big races that they go to is it's usually the same time every year, but all those times of the year.
Yeah,
I'm busy.
But that's not
something.
Because it's summer. That's just because that's when it happens to be
racing.
Race season.
Yeah, dirt track racing.
It's not like the weather
summer.
or like the
Well, it's nicer in the summer. But for the most part, I kind of agree. It's just if I'm gonna travel anywhere, I'm going to the lake house, and I'm just not. I feel like I'm not a huge traveler. I'll go places if people pay me to go to places, obviously. But
shout out military.
Yeah. And in
Savannah's
my mind,
a fun
I
place
feel
to
like
travel.
that's why I asked when I first asked this question. Do you go somewhere that's hotter than where you're at, or do you
Absolutely not.
I'm like, I feel like summer, if you have a good, like, obviously with the house and everything, you have your own kind of getaway, and you can kind of make it what you want. So I agree with that, where it's staying at home, and if not, I'm going to the lake house.
Yeah.
And with that, when you're at your favorite summer destination, what's your drink of choice? What is your summer drink of choice? Because for me, that's a very loaded question, because I feel like it changes every year, and I feel like it also. That is my nighttime snack and breakfast.
Quick Trip milk
Hey,
for Lucas.
Duh.
In a freezer cup.
Yes, in a chilled glass.
But no, I was more adult beverage talking.
Yeah. Water, first of all, stay hydrated.
There you go.
Especially in the summer.
Liquid IVs also help.
No, those are gross.
Well, depending on what flavor you get.
So salty.
No,
we had Water Boys this weekend for the first time. So salty.
I prefer the Gatorlight ones are actually pretty good.
I like the name another brand of electrolyte.
Element?
No.
Prime.
Yeah.
Prime.
The Prime lemonade one is pretty good.
Like the mix or the drink?
The mix, the powder,
okay.
the electrolyte.
I can't
mix.
handle the actual Prime drink.
No, I don't drink Prime. I'm not a teenage boy.
Powder.
Energy drink. Prime energy.
Oh, the energy drink.
Yeah, the Gatorlight powder
is
cherry
yummy.
lime is.
I love cherry lime.
Yeah, I have one in pantry.
Glacier cherry from Gatorade. I love
Oh yeah,
awesome.
true. That one's
best
delicious.
flavor.
Anyways, the best summer drink is. Well, what am I doing? What's the context?
Well, if you had to choose one adult beverage to have for the summer, what's it going to be?
Summer.
Just that's what I'm going to put on here. I feel like I know what you might say. I don't think, but Emma, do
you know what I'm going to say?
No,
Emma's going to say long drink.
No.
No. White wine.
No.
I
do like both of those things. Both of those.
Cider.
I do love a cider.
None of those things.
I was going to say a gin and tonic.
A gin and tonic,
I love a gin and tonic.
Little gimlet.
Specifically, one made by my Uncle Mike.
Shout out Uncle Mike.
With Hendrix. Obviously tonic and a lot of lime.
Okay. That sounds horrible.
I've never had gin and tonic, so
that's your go-to summer drink, like by the pool or by the lake or whatever.
Gin and tonic.
I don't really like gin or tonic. Yeah.
What about lime?
I love lime.
Okay.
Absolutely lime. I have a hard time because like my go-to drink normally is like a Captain and Diet or a Jack and Coke. But if I'm like out at the pool swimming around or on a boat, I'm not whipping out a Jack and Coke. Like that's pretty aggressive.
Okay, I would agree about the gin and tonic.
Right. I'd probably go grapefruit high noon. Oh, yeah. Although there's another canned drink called Monaco. Some of the flavors are nasty.
Oh, okay.
But some of them are so good and they are incredibly strong.
We had the nasty ones.
Yeah, we did have the nasty ones. Citrus Rush, I think. It's in a white can. That one, gross. Watermelon Crush, which is a tequila drink in a pinkish red can.
I don't do tequila.
Delicious. When I go floating on the river, I like Monacos and I like High Noons and I like little bags of snacks.
Yeah. Okay, I would say a High Noon in that type of scenario as well.
Yes.
I also feel like my cousin and I got into neutrals, which
nut rolls
refer to as nut rolls.
Yes.
So
all of the bars we went to in Scottsdale this weekend only had neutrals.
Yeah, only a nut roll.
No other seltzers, just neutrals.
Yes.
And I did tell one of the people on the trip that it was pronounced nut roll when she ordered it from the bar.
Oh, perfect. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Why didn't you text me that? That's so funny. But We tried the cranberry variety when we were just in Florida. We got the cranberry pack. Honestly, I liked the lemonade pack better.
Okay.
Yeah. The cranberry orange, horrible. I would have thought I would like that because I
Sounds like
like both of those things. It was so bad.
Okay.
But yeah, High Noon, White Claw. Like if you're doing that.
No White Claw
Activity. I would pick
a
High Noon first.
Yes, High Noons are better.
I kind of got back into White Claws. I'm
no
okay
laws.
with them. No laws. We drink the claws. But I agree. High Noon,
Maybe a Borg?
White Claw. The one
A Borg? We're way too old for Borgs. You know Borgs?
No.
I've never had a Borg.
What's it stand for?
Blackout Rage Gallon.
Blackout Rage Gun. That's what college kids are doing these days that
Are
they bring
still
with
doing
them.
It, or is that outdated?
I don't know. But they take like a gallon of water and dump some out and fill it with like Mio or something like Squeeze and like liquor. And they just drink. That's what they drink all day from the gallon. And they come up with really funny names. Kids are so clever.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
I agree with the White Claw and the High Noons. I did just have the Great Lake Seltzer. It's the Bomb Pop. That's pretty good. But my all-time favorite seltzer, and when I find it at bars, I always drink it. Sunny D Vodka Seltzers. Forever.
Oh, yeah, you love
that.
those.
And then
have you not had that?
I don't like them.
Oh, I also think they're disgusting.
They have a lot of different flavors, but the other one, I did just find the flavor of this Good Boy, John Daly's Vodka Seltzers. Yeah. There was one at a golf course that I tried that I guess they partnered with Travis Pastrana. It was like an orange citrus flavored one, and it was really good. So I agree.
You think that might be the go-to drink of the summer?
I would if I had all those in front of me, I would go with the Sunny D Vodka Seltzer every time because I love them.
I want to take it back to a cider actually.
Yeah.
Cider.
I do love a cider. I feel like I haven't had any like new good ones recently because I like a dry cider.
Okay.
And I
drop dry cider, Rex.
Drop any Rex. I had this one cider this one time. It was a cherry cider. It was dry. It was called Anthem was the brand. I had it out in Colorado. Okay. I've never seen it again. Oh. And I've even gone back to the same place. I cannot find it anywhere.
I have something like that too. Good. My grandma used to give me tomato soup with noodles when I was a kid. That soup doesn't exist.
That soup doesn't.
But when I was a kid, it for sure existed because she used to give it to me. No. From a can. Tomato soup with noodles. Haven't seen it again. I haven't looked for it in a long time, but I spent like a good 5 years trying to find it.
Yeah.
Not for the summer.
Gotcha.
Not for the summer.
Okay. So we kind of alluded at some snacks, but I don't want to talk about snacks. We'll talk about meals. Summer meals. Because obviously... You don't.
I can tell you
like
right now.
4th of July, like obviously 4th of July, biggest summer. I would say biggest summer holiday is 4th of July, and obviously a lot of barbecue, a lot of different stuff. What makes a quintessential summer meal?
You ready? I'm gonna break it down. White bread, turkey, provolone, crushed up chips, white bread, pool sandwich.
Okay.
No condiment.
Wait. What chips?
Dry?
What chips?
Probably Doritos if they have them. Otherwise, I'll go barbecue. Otherwise, I'll go regular Lay's. I'm probably dry. I'm just by the pool. I'm pulling it out of the loaf of bread. I'm going bread, turkey, provolone, chips, bread. And I'm just...
She's not going to like what I'm about to say.
I could never
something
eat
gross?
a sandwich without a condiment.
Okay, well, I also don't put 4 pounds of ketchup on my food.
I'd go way more white trash with it. I'd go like white bread, bologna, American cheese, chips, and mayonnaise.
Okay, mayonnaise for sure. In the perfect world, there'd be mayonnaise. If I'm by the pool, the mayonnaise is probably in the fridge, honestly.
I'm having mayonnaise.
I can't have a dry sandwich.
Bologna, disgusting.
I love bologna.
Yeah.
Shout out Judge, the kid that I nannied for so long, who's obsessed with bologna sandwiches. And I used to take the bologna out of the package to make him a bologna sandwich, which, context, bologna sandwich, bologna bread. And I had to cut the crust off, right? Because he was a small child, like 2. I would pull the bologna out of its soggy package like this. And his mom would just be standing there cracking up watching me pull the bologna out of the package. But American cheese does not go on a cold sandwich.
What?
I don't mind American cheese, but it needs to go on a warm sandwich where it's going to get melty. A cold sandwich is no place for an American cheese slice.
What was it like growing up rich, honestly?
When I was a kid, I would not eat cold cheese at all.
No, I'm talking about the bologna thing.
Bologna's disgusting.
Bologna.
I also don't eat hot dogs, so...
No.
Miscellaneous meats is not really my thing.
Okay. So that's your quintessential meal.
I just think to me when I think of it's summer, I'm outside, I'm having a basic sandwich with chips on top. Okay. But if we're going more serious, like 4th of July, I want ribs, I want burgers and dogs, I want pasta salad.
Want the dog?
I don't want the dog, but I want the dog to be there. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna eat it. But I want to see it on the grill. It's the 4th of July. Grill up those freaking hot dogs. I'm just not going to eat one.
They're for someone else.
Yes. Burgers, but the big, to me, that comes into the big potluck style, neighborhood meal, because I grew up with a neighborhood that was really close and really good friends. And you guys have both met my neighbors, shout out neighbors. That to me is you bring the potatoes and you bring the pasta salad and you bring the chips and we'll make the ribs and we'll grill the hot dogs and, just a little bit of everything from everyone.
Yeah.
But that's also could be said for literally any event that happens. That's how I want it to be.
Yeah. I would have to say, burgers.
Yeah.
Obviously have to be there.
Burgers and dogs.
Burgers and dogs. But not that we usually do it Memorial Day at my grandparents', but fish fry. I feel like just fried fish in the summer. Always got to have a nice
interesting
fish fry at some point.
I feel like fish fry skews more Lent, yes.
It is, but I know for my
Lent.
Grandparents, they always did obviously Memorial Day.
What kind of fish?
So just whatever my grandfather caught, they put it in.
Catch of the day.
They put it in the. Well, he put it in the freezer. All the fish he caught throughout the year, they put it in the freezer, and then he'd fry it all up, and then all the neighbors would come over and we'd have a fish fry, or family friends
for
neighbors.
Memorial Day.
They normally is when they would do it, but
I feel like that would be an end of the summer event.
No, they usually because it's always
a
all
Labor
the
Day.
Well, he also ice fishes too. He does. He fishes. My grandfather's retired.
Year round.
He fishes all year round. So he by himself catches a lot of fish, but he cuts them all up and then. But
so you think fish fry is the summer meal?
I would have to say throughout the whole summer, I love a good fish fry. I don't care where you're at.
That's so crazy to me.
But you have to have burgers at some point. But I like fish fries.
Okay,
that's just me.
That just to me doesn't say summer at all. Not even a teeny tiny bit.
Summer fish fries. They're a thing.
Coleslaw, potato salad.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't eat beef. So no burgers.
Oh, I was like, what?
No
potatoes or potato salad beef?
Turkey burger.
You know what? I have one to add. Corn on the cob.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Some good Ohio corn per Ron.
Shout out Kiwanis.
Corn.
Shout out.
No, corn on the cob is all summer. From the second I see it in the husk at the grocery store, I'm buying it all summer long.
Specifically from Witten's farm stand in Logan, Ohio. I'm just kidding. That's where my grandparents buy their corn.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were referencing that old guy's corn that he was telling us about. I was like, Emma, that's crazy.
No. I think one other thing we forgot to mention that I feel has to be part of a
watermelon?
meal. I was going to say. I'm like, it is a snack, but I feel like with every meal.
Cubed.
Wedged. I think
I don't care for watermelon.
I rather have a wedge.
Do you like
myself.
other melon?
No.
Me either. I don't like other melon. I only like watermelon.
No shout out melon.
I don't
really like melon.
Honeydew.
If there's watermelon in a fruit salad of some sort or just out on a plate, I will eat some. I would never go to the store and buy a watermelon to eat for myself.
I will buy at least one watermelon a summer.
What if I buy a watermelon
and cut it up?
Will you have some?
I'll have some. But not if you cut it into balls. How am I supposed to eat that?
Baller?
No, I don't have a baller.
Well, I was going to say, most people when they ball a melon, it's usually two...
Baller.
I was just about to say, I'm not a baller.
When they I've balled a melon before, but I feel like most people, when you do that, it's because you're putting it in a bowl and you're gonna put like alcohol in there and make drunk balls.
Oh, sure. One of my neighbors makes a pasta salad that's like orzo and watermelon and feta and like spinach or basil or something.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And garlic expressions. You know garlic expressions? Yes. You don't like garlic expressions?
Like
the condiment queen?
Much.
Shout out garlic expressions.
Carrie also loves garlic expressions.
Who?
Carrie. She keeps the whole bottle in the fridge.
Oh, we did talk about that at work one day. I love garlic expressions.
Okay.
What else?
Okay. I guess it was
Carl,
summer.
what's your favorite kibble?
Kibble? Bacon and eggs?
He was having Rachel Ray's nutrish food.
Yeah.
He just did switch recently to the Hills something.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Carl loves a roaster.
He loves a roaster.
I bought them for him at the store.
I know. He felt like that was so special. My parents were impressed.
Oh. I did call and ask what treats Carl liked when I was at the store.
Like, I was like, yes.
I should know. Some dogs have sensitive tummies.
Yeah. I know Kelsey will have an answer for this. I don't know.
Have you ever asked a question that I haven't had an answer to?
Sport, or I guess maybe it can be sporting event or just sport to watch over summer. Obviously, the easiest answer could
Baseball.
be baseball, but
I have a better answer.
Or just one event. I don't know.
Summer Olympics.
Okay.
I love the Summer Olympics. It doesn't happen every year.
Yeah, every 4
But I did
years.
go to the Summer Olympics in London.
And we watched. I didn't know that either.
Really?
No.
We had tickets to beach volleyball, so we watched beach volleyball at the Summer Olympics, and it was incredible.
Your
parents and my friend Afton, yes. We went to London, Spain, Paris, and Ireland.
Nice.
But we went to the Summer Olympics in London, and we watched beach volleyball, and we saw a little bit of cycling because we were at the Buckingham Palace, and we were standing there, and the cyclist wheeled right by us, and we were like, cycling. But I'd say if we were going, like, most fun summer sport to watch, I'm going Summer Olympics every 4 years. But, of course, I do love a good Detroit Tigers baseball.
Okay.
Not any other baseball teams. I literally couldn't care less about anyone else.
That's fair.
Just the Tigers, specifically Miggy's last game.
Oh, yeah. Why? Why would you bring that up? That's so sad.
Because that was one of the best baseball games I've been to, besides the Tigers World Series game.
I watched that on TV, that last game. That was sad. Yeah.
And my dad bought me one of those frozen drinks in a bat because I really, really wanted one.
Yep.
And that's a great memory, too. It was like last year.
Emma, I don't know if I don't feel like you're
Emma
a huge
Sports.
Emma Sports.
Huge sports.
Yeah, chill.
I like the social aspect of like going and like
tailgating.
Are you
even just like being at the game? I feel like it's fun, just like a fun environment and that kind of thing. So
tailgating. That's a good
tailgating's very fun, but that's not so much of like a baseball thing.
Yeah, well,
I just loved an activity in general. I'm an
True.
activity.
Emma just likes to get out of the house.
Emma would love Wisconsin. I want to make this. Hold on. I want to make this very clear when I say this statement. I've been to Wisconsin. I've been I've been to multiple baseball games, football games. It doesn't matter what the sporting event is. There is tailgating going down. I went to a low level, like minor league baseball team,
Timber Rattlers,
Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and there were people out there tailgating. I took my mom to
Milwaukee
Brewers.
Tailgate?
I took my mom to a Milwaukee Brewers game. They're tailgating there. I took my mom and my grandmother to a Green Bay Packers game. People, they take that real seriously.
Well, of course they're tailgating for that.
Yeah, but it's like, it just, the thing is, the environment just feels the same everywhere you go. Like, people are there, they show up, they're just hanging out. Kids are playing catch. They got their grills out and everything, and it's really cool. It's just because I've been to multiple baseball team, Madison's baseball team too. I've been there, where everywhere you go, it's just the same atmosphere. It's just tailgating, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun.
But for me, summer, I can love me some Mud Hens baseball. Obviously, Tigers are a whole different level. I love going to Tigers games. Yeah. I haven't been to enough in the past couple of years, but I love.
And honestly, Tigers. couldn't be doing better this year.
Tigers are doing well, but also I mentioned it before. Dirt track racing, going watching dirt track racing in the summer is also a lot of fun. But,
disc golf?
No, I don't go to watch disc golf. I go to play.
You said watch
disc
or
golf.
play.
Yeah, you're right. When I don't want to pick
golf.
We're gonna be doing pickleball.
True, pickleball.
Oh, you guys. Oh, pickleball. We're picking.
I like pickleball.
I don't like pickleball. I think it's dumb. But
okay, well, some of us aren't that athletic, so
I've never played. So we're gonna see.
Pickleball's really easy to play. That's why we like it. But also golf, great summer
played it
sport.
Twice ever, but that was because I had nothing else going on. But moving on.
Okay.
We'll wrap it up with best nighttime activity in the summer, which I also feels like a very easy question to answer, but bonfires. But I feel like other fun activities, especially like if you're camping during the summer and you're not close to a city, like looking up at the stars, just laying out on the ground. I do enjoy hot tubbing. There you go. That is definitely a late night.
Hot tubbing. I'm still going bonfires.
No,
I love
go
a bonfire.
to the bar.
I hate
outdoor bar.
Oh, sure, an outdoor bar, stables, patio. Say less. They're all summer. I love a bonfire. I hate the way my clothes and hair smell following sitting at a bonfire, but I love a bonfire, and that to me is like all of high school. Like all of my memories from high school are bonfires.
Yep. I was just about to say.
And they're all great memories. I love a bonfire. And I love
dipping.
fire.
I forgot. Throw that out there.
I've never been skinny dipping.
Midnight swims. My mom's old house, we had a pond, and sometimes we'd go swimming at night, because why not? It's summer.
Night swim.
Yep. But, I don't know.
Emma?
Bonfire.
I agree.
Nighttime activity.
Yeah.
Catching fireflies.
Ooh.
That feels so nighttime.
That is, I was about to say, that is...
fireworks, very summer. Very nighttime.
I've done that many a time without fireworks.
I don't care for fireworks, but that is a summer activity that happens at night.
Risky.
It's fun. So,
I have fireworks trauma.
I feel like some of my friends have fireworks trauma, but...
Oh, I'm sure.
We used to get the big M80s, light them on fire, and they had the waterproof wick, throw them in the pond.
Yeah. But fireworks are a summer activity at nighttime that people enjoy.
Yeah. Out in the country where you don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do, at least.
Kelsey and I both worked 4th of July.
Oh.
Yeah.
Past 2 years.
The last 2 years I worked 4th of July overnight in the emergency room.
Yeah. And
so you see a lot of fireworks trauma.
I worked 2 to 10:30 the past 2 years.
Yes.
4th of July.
Like apartment burned down, burned my eyeball, burnt my arm, burnt my leg.
My hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are really dangerous with fireworks.
Yeah.
Be careful.
I've seen it. I have.
Dangerous.
I've been around luckily only one time ever where I've actually been near someone that firework. It didn't blow up his hand, but it started going off and burned him. But other than that, luckily I haven't had, no one I know has had a serious accident with it, so that's the good thing.
There was one kid I saw who the parents tried to help him fire off a Roman candle or something up against his shoulder, and they put it backwards. So instead of firing out, it fired right into him.
That's fun.
So
read the instructions.
Yeah. Fireworks, not for me. But I can see why people enjoy them. We have on our app, or on our iPads at work, we have a little fireworks app where you can make fireworks with your fingers. Perfect. That's all I need.
Know. I honestly can't believe you wouldn't like doing... You would like doing Roman candles because you'd want a wizard fight. That was always a thing that me and my friends wanted to do, was stand on opposing sides of a pond and then just shoot Roman candles at each other.
I would absolutely not do that. That sounds very irresponsible.
No, you just don't aim at anyone. You just
said shoot them at each other.
Well, in general direction, not at them. You're like, ooh, wizard fight. Wee. No, you've never wizard fight?
Yeah, Carl's not into that. No, I've definitely never done that.
Okay.
I'm responsible. I'm safe.
I'm responsible. Right.
Once you've seen too many emergencies in the emergency room. Hi, Carl. You want to do some fireworks?
You're awake?
No, Carl probably didn't like fireworks. But he didn't like loud noises.
Stuart hates fireworks.
I believe that Chloe doesn't like loud noises either, so.
Yeah.
But,
we cover all our summer topics?
I feel like we've covered summer. Talking about it just gets me excited for consistently warm weather.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not terrible, but, No,
it was nice today.
Yeah. Could be better and more consistent.
I feel like as soon as I went in to get my nails done at 2:30, it was like very overcast or very cloudy all day long.
Yeah.
Then I came out of nails, it was like
sunny,
warm,
beautiful. Yeah, when I left work, it was really nice out.
Which is what I was thinking. I was like, oh, Kelsey's leaving, and it's like, she's going to be like, what a beautiful day. And it was like freezing and overcast.
I also don't look out the window the entire day at work until I leave, so.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say, I agree. It was a very nice day today.
It was a beautiful day.
But again, thank you both for being part of this episode and talking about the summer. But before we can end the episode, Kelsey, do you got a question?
Oh, a question?
Yeah. Do you want
like a hypothetical?
Yeah, you can hit us with a hypothetical.
Okay.
Holocaust lighthearted.
No, not that. Not that. Okay, give me like 2 seconds to think.
That's fine. I was going to say, again, apologies, we don't have the question jar here. But I was going to say, I feel like Kelsey has plenty of hypotheticals in her head.
Okay, would you rather...
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Have to saw your own hand and foot off. You can choose which hand and which foot, one of each. Okay. So
hand and foot.
A hand and a foot, and you have to do it.
Okay.
So you're awake, no meds.
Got it.
You don't bleed out and die.
Yeah.
So you have some sort of cautery to take care of it. Okay. Or saw your entire leg off at the hip bone. You can keep your ankle, just your foot. So you could keep the ankle joint for like prosthetics.
I'd rather take a whole leg off. I don't want to lose a hand.
Really?
I feel like the technology to replace the legs.
You could cut off your left hand.
But I want both my hands.
I also think at the hip.
Yeah.
Really?
I was about to say.
You'd go full leg?
I'd go full leg.
Yeah. I feel like...
Just send it,
I'd rather not have a hook.
You're taking the foot, take the whole leg.
A hook?
Have you seen prosthetic hands? You can get prosthetic hands that hook up to your nerves and your brainstem.
Yeah, but I feel like they don't move as fast. Like they move decently, but I'd rather just keep my regular hand.
I feel like my left hand essentially does nothing for me because I'm so not ambidextrous. I'm so unidextrous, I suppose, that I feel like I put a prosthetic hand on my left hand and it wouldn't make that much difference in my life, to be completely honest.
I do a lot with my left hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do really anything. I
treasure my hands more. Like, again, I feel like the prosthetic leg technology is much better, or it's much easier.
I don't know if that's true.
Because you don't really...
But it's at the hip. Like, your whole leg's gone.
Yeah,
if you just cut off your foot, it's so easy to just throw a prosthetic foot on there.
Yeah, it's not about the prosthetic. It's not about the prosthetic foot. It's about the prosthetic hand. I don't want a prosthetic hand. I want both my hands.
You could have no hand.
I don't want no hand. I want two hands.
Okay. Would you rather sew your nostrils closed or sew your ears closed?
It already feels like I have my ears sewn closed.
So true, Emma.
Yeah.
You can't really smell anymore if your nostrils are sewn closed.
And it affects your taste.
Mm-hmm. And I think you could still hear if your ears were sewn closed, just a lot
muffled.
less.
Yeah, a lot more muffled.
Mama, like Charlie Brown adults.
Like if they were sewn like back, that'd be
closed.
Fine, but
no, closed.
Closed.
Yeah.
Like this.
I think that would be okay.
The holes are closed.
Yeah.
So there's no gaps.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that anyone asked, but I do ears. No. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, two very good questions.
Thank you.
Too.
What?
You'd be hand and foot.
I'd be hand and foot.
Yeah.
I want to keep my leg.
Left hand and left foot? Or?
Left hand, right foot, probably. I don't want to be uneven.
Fair enough.
I'm left foot dominant. Left leg dominant.
I'm right foot balance dominant. Left foot extension per dance. So.
No idea.
That's okay.
No idea.
Yeah. No, I'm left leg in the front.
Interesting.
In the front?
Like, if you're going to go do, like, a handstand or, like, a cartwheel.
Oh, I'd be right foot in the front.
Yeah,
So,
I'm left leg in the front.
Okay, we're done.
I'm left eye dominant.
Okay, great. That's great to know.
Well, again,
you left nostril dominant.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You're
all
welcome.
3 of you again.
Shout out Carl.
Shout out Carl
for being. Thank you for your input.
For being a part of this and making this episode possible. If you've listened or watched this long, I really appreciate it. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Twitter/X, and follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Catch you on the next one. Thank you.